Fox 40 says minimum wage is a topic that draws a lot of attention, especially in California, a state that has one of the highest minimum wages in the United States. In a debate Monday night, Representative Barbara Lee defended her previous advocacy for a $50 minimum wage. Here's the clip. Let's watch.
You're calling for a $50 an hour federal minimum wage. That's 7 times the current national minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. Can you explain how that would be economically sustainable for small businesses? You have 60 seconds.
First, let me say I owned and ran a small business for 11 years. I created hundreds of jobs, benefits, retirement benefits, also health care benefits. I know what worker productivity means, and that means that you have to make sure that your employees are taken care of and have a living wage. In the Bay Area, I believe it was the United Way, came out with a report that very recently, $127,000 for a family of 4 is just barely enough to get by. Another survey very recently, $104,000 for a family of 1, barely enough to get by. Low income because of the affordability crisis. And so just do the math. Just do the math. Of course, we have national minimum wages that we need to raise to a living wage. You're talking about $20, $25, fine. But I have got to be focused on what California needs and what the affordability factor is when we calculate this wage.
Okay, $50 minimum wage is what she's asking for. So, sure, why not? Why not $50? Why not $100? Why not $1,000? Let's do $1,000. $1,000 minimum wage. Once we get to 50, there's really no reason to not continue. Make it $1 million. Make it a $1 million minimum wage. Okay, pay people $1 million an hour. We could all be billionaires before long. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be fantastic? Of course, we're all billionaires, and so if you want to go and buy a roll of paper towels or something, it's going to cost you $70 trillion. But still, at least we all have all that money. And this is how you solve the affordability crisis, right? There's a crisis where things cost too much money, things are not affordable, and the way you solve it is by vastly increasing the cost of doing business for every business in your state. Okay, you like 7x their costs, and that's how you make the cost of things go down. That's the math. Barbara Lee's math is about as fuzzy and imaginary as the white guy who supposedly harassed her on the elevator in the Capitol building a few weeks ago, if you recall. She's the same person. So her math skills exist in the same way that guy exists, because they don't. Now, this is obviously completely insane. Raise the minimum wage to $50, and that's just the end of California. That would be the end of the state, because every business would have to leave, and it would be the end of commerce in the state. And if you don't have commerce in the state of any kind, then you just don't have a state. Like, no one can live there. It can't exist anymore. So maybe that's a silver lining. Maybe we should just go ahead and do it and put California out of its misery, and we can all, move on. And maybe that's the way we do it. But if you don't want to just destroy the state completely and finally put the final nail in its coffin, it's a terrible idea. But anytime this subject of minimum wage comes up, it's important to remember that the whole topic is a red herring. The whole thing is irrelevant. Now, yes, I agree that it's difficult to support yourself on minimum wage. I've done it, so I know that it's hard. It's very difficult. And it's even harder, if not basically impossible these days, to support a family on minimum wage. You basically, it's essentially impossible. You can't do it. You can support yourself. I mean, it's very, very difficult, but you can do that. It is possible. A family, no, you just can't. It's not enough money. But here's the thing. The minimum wage, that's not what it's for. That is not the point of minimum wage. That's not why it exists. Minimum wage jobs don't exist for that. Raising minimum wage, you know what it's like? It's a bit like trying to invent training wheels for bicycles that would allow a child to go 30 miles an hour on the bike. Okay, that's what it's like. It defeats the whole purpose of the training wheels. If he's ready to go that fast, it's long past time to take the training wheels off. Okay, the whole point of training wheels, it's the assumption that the kid can't go even a mile an hour on the bike. It's like, so the training wheels are designed for that. So you don't need faster training wheels. You just need to have no training wheels. Take them off. Same with minimum wage. Minimum wage, it's like these are the training wheels of income levels. You don't need a higher minimum wage. You just need to not be on minimum wage anymore. You need to graduate beyond minimum wage. Minimum wage is not for adults with houses and kids and car payments. It's not for that. So when we're saying to ourselves, well, even on $15 an hour, there's no way that an adult could have a mortgage and pay for the car and have a kid. It's impossible. It's not a living wage. Yes, you're damn right. Of course it's not. It's not for that. That's not what it's for. It's not why it exists. Minimum wage is for teenagers. It's for college students working part-time. It's for high school students. You're not supposed to camp out on minimum wage and try to build your life on it. Yes, of course you can't. But that's why you don't stay there. And earning $50 an hour is more than possible. I mean, it's a great goal to have, especially if you're starting at minimum wage. And it's entirely feasible. I mean, there are many different paths you could take in life. There are many different careers you could go, you could explore. Many of them certainly don't require college degrees. And you could end up making $50 an hour. You know, it's not outside the realm of possibility at all. But you can't make that while staying on the minimum wage job. It's just not. Standing at a drive-thru or standing behind the cash register, you know, at Wendy's. We've already picked on Wendy's, so we'll do it again. Standing behind the cash register at Wendy's, and somebody comes in and says, "Oh, I want a number one, please, and a medium Diet Coke," and then you press it in, and you know, you swipe the card, you hand them the. That is not supposed to be a career, just doing that. It just isn't. And that action of typing the thing in, swiping the card, and handing a bag of food to somebody is not worth $50 an hour by any metric. Like, in no possible universe is that worth $50 an hour. It isn't. It's a job that has almost already been entirely replaced by automation. I mean, most of the job can be done already. McDonald's has the automated, you know, the screens that you can press when you go in that are smudged with fingerprints, and it's disgusting. But then again, the whole experience is disgusting, so who cares? So already, it's like it's half of the job could be replaced with a screen, and pretty soon the whole job will be replaced. So it's not for that. You're not supposed to build a career on it. Which isn't to say that you can't build a career in the restaurant industry, the food industry. Of course you can. It's not even to say that you can't build a career in fast food. You could do that too. You could work your way up. You could become a manager, assistant manager, general manager. You know, you could go to the corporate side. It's certainly not to say that you can't create a career in customer service. Like, there are plenty of there. You could have quite a respectable and noble career. We're experiencing a lot of global instability in the new year. North Korea is testing missiles. Iran is growing increasingly aggressive. And by the way, we have a presidential election coming up in November, if you haven't heard. So how do you protect your family in the midst of all this chaos? A great place to start is by protecting your savings. It's not too late to invest in gold with Birch Gold Group today. Unlike many other investments, gold can act as a safe haven during turbulent times by providing a hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty. Birch Gold will help you convert your existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold, and it will cost you nothing out of pocket as well. While diversification does not eliminate risk entirely, Birch Gold's experts can help you manage and reduce, providing a more resilient foundation for your financial well-being. Birch Gold's experts can help you manage and reduce, providing a more resilient foundation for your financial well-being. That's why I urge you to talk to one of their trusted experts today. Text Walsh to 989898, and Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, and thousands of happy customers. I encourage you to check out Birch Gold today. They've been the exclusive gold company for the Daily Wire for the past 7 years. We trust them. You can trust them too. Text Walsh to 989898 to claim your free info kit on gold. That's Walsh to 989898 to secure your savings now. Courage Under Fire is going to be one of the biggest events of the year. You don't want to miss it. Come and join me on May 24th in Nashville, Tennessee for a night of encouragement and camaraderie. Courage Under Fire will host some of the top leaders of faith, pro-life movement, and culture to share what's true, good, and beautiful. I'll be speaking alongside Dr. Abby Johnson on how to have courage and stand up for the truth in our culture no matter what adversity you face. we'll be joined by some of the most influential leaders in the conservative movement for a night of connection and inspiration. All proceeds from the gala will directly benefit students in need of tuition assistance at Regina Caeli Academy, which is the premier classical homeschool hybrid for Catholic families. VIPs will have access to an exclusive meet and greet with guest speakers and live music during a cocktail hour. If you haven't grabbed your tickets yet, you need to. For tickets, visit courageunderfiregala.org and use code DailyWire at checkout. That's courageunderfiregala.org and use code DailyWire. Can't wait to see you there. The minimum wage job itself is not supposed to be the career. And this is where I'm always accused of being cruel and callous and out of touch and everything else. Even though, as I said, people can say that all they want. You're out of touch. You have no idea. All right, that's fine. I guess you know more about my own personal history than I do. I don't know. I guess I should wait for internet comments to tell me about what my own biography is, because as far as I'm aware of my own biography, I've done all these kinds of jobs. That's where I started. I know what it's like. I get it. And I also know that, it's not that hard to graduate above minimum wage. It just requires, especially when you become, now if you're 15 years old, it's going to be more difficult. But if you're not, if you're older, if you're an adult, you should be able to launch yourself off of that launching pad pretty quickly. And so if you're 26 years old and you're getting paid minimum wage, you should look to see if the problem is with you a little bit. And I know that these are all things we're not supposed to say anymore. We're not supposed to say. And when people complain, the only thing we're supposed to do is say, well, yeah, your life's terrible. It's horrible. It should change. Everything should change for you. I feel so bad for you. I know it's the only thing we're supposed to say. You're not supposed to put any onus on the individual at all. I understand that. But maybe you've noticed I don't respect those rules. And so don't want to get paid minimum wage. I totally get it. I wouldn't want to either. So go out and earn more than that. That's the solution. It's the only solution that's available. Or, the other option is that you could say, well, I don't want, I don't want to. It's too hard. I think that minimum wage should be increased to $50 an hour. Well, okay, well then let's just do that and destroy everything. That's the other option, is just to destroy everything. And then in the end, you're still exactly where you are right now. We could just completely ruin the economy in the name of being compassionate towards you and being gentle. And then you are still screwed and everyone else is screwed too. Maybe that makes you feel better because everyone else is in a bad spot also. Is that the plan? I guess so. Misery loves company, I suppose. It's just that's not a very good economic philosophy, is my take on it. Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to listen to my full podcast on the go, you can check out The Matt Walsh Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.